You are looking live at the world's most famous race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for the 15th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race presented by the Alzheimer's Association. Hello again, everyone. Happy race Saturday to you all. Welcome to my hometown. I am Gary Godsoe, and welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 7 of Season 15 of the Velocity Online Racing Signature Series, the IndyCar Championship, as we come to you for the biggest race of the season. Joining me in the booth, we have an all-star crew. We do have the czar of the broadcast booth, Justin Prince. Justin, I will turn it over to you just a second. We also have Jack James here. JJ, good to have you back. Welcome to Indianapolis as well. Let's get today's starting lineup in, and starting from the pole is Liam O'Sullivan, your VOR IndyCar Championship points leader. He's a former winner of this race from Season 12, finished on the podium in Season 13. In real IndyCar racing history, 21 drivers have won from the pole, the most from all starting positions, but none since Simon Pagenaud in 2019, and it's happened only 5 times this century. Rick Mears did it the most. He did it 3 times. Starting second in the middle of the row is Matthias Strauss. 11 drivers have won from the middle of the front row. The last to win from the front row, the middle of the front row, real IndyCar in the Indy 500 was Juan Montoya in 2000. And on the outside of the front row is Amon Law. 14 drivers have started from the outside of the front row. The last to win, Takuma Sato in 2020. Moving on back to row number 2 is we have Roden Eftink, Brian Fiolis, and Milan Vogelzang. Vogelzang sits 6th, and that's where Alex Palou started in 2025. Going back to the next row, we have Julian Altina, Mason Mitchum, and Pim Van Gastel. Julian has 5 career podiums at this racetrack. No wins. Can he get the Indy monkey off his back like Tony Kanaan and get it win in his 15th start? We'll find out here in about 200 laps. Moving on back to the next row is Andreas Vince, Hunter Ingrave, and Peter Somebody to Love. In the middle of, and then we go to row 5. We got Dan Inch, John Christensen, and Bryce Saucier. Fraser Clegg, Sebastian Dufresne, and Anthony Hatsama. Back in row 7, Alrito Enrique, Muriani, and Clinty are defending champion and series champion of this race. Charpentier, Pressey, and Stock back in row 8. Dahlgren, a former winner here, James Watson, Katie Pollock in row 9. Lovern, Kinder, and Wags back on row 10. Gallus and Rise back on the last row. This is the 15th running. George Solders won the 15th running to the Indy 500 in 1927. 5 drivers have won from the 15th starting position. Louis Meyer, Johnny Parsons, Bobby Unser, Al Unser, Emerson Fittipaldi. Juan Montoya won his second Indy 500 15 years after the first. In 4, this is start number 15. Alex Van Desant with 4 wins, Jesper Dahlgren with 2. We have a whole bunch with 1. Who will win 15th running? Green flag in Indianapolis. We're out for 500 miles. To the north end of the racetrack, through the south end of the racetrack. Wreck in the back. We're going to go caution. Big wreck in the back. Holy mackerel. Big wreck back there.
What did I say about surviving 3 wide to start? We didn't survive 3 wide at the start. Fraser Clegg, your top rookie, makes a mistake in the opening corner. Think he went too low and bobbled as he tried to hold on. It bounced off some cars. You'll see here on the replay. It led to calamity. 4 wide for a moment. It's never good. Error causes the contact, but everything else was nowhere to go.
But these cars are notoriously loose, JJ, going into 1 on the start of these races, mainly because, well, we don't have all the physics and the downforce working for us, and the cars are really going to want to turn when they go into the corner. And we saw it with JJ Yaley in 98, his Zayla Garza back in 87. And a number of other drivers getting a wreck there on the first lap, getting loose, just getting down to that apron really quickly. And then unfortunately behind him, it's just an accordion behind him, and that just collected a whole bunch of cars. Green flag out at lap 5, and watch this field spread out. Liam O'Sullivan goes to the inside defensive, opening the door on the outside. Amon Law going on Strauss through 1 and 2, but he can't quite pull that pass off. Strauss gets back in line. Law falls back to third. F-Tink now in fourth, and Fiolis back in fifth.
Good jump here from the get-go as O'Sullivan going to bring them to the bottom. As some in the IndyCar side would say, have you heard of the term the dragon? Not just the snake, they drag themselves along like dragons to the bottom of the racetrack. You'll see a lot of moves today to cover off the bottom, where it's going to be easier to pass today. Strauss this time doesn't get covered off for the lead.
Strauss blinking a little bit there, but he seems to be secure. He's going to go for the lead, and a little bit further back, Vogelzang underneath Fiolis as they go into the short chute.
Might be something that we seem to recognize rather quickly at the front of the field. Strauss and O'Sullivan, they've had their battles throughout this season. They've had their battles throughout other championships as well. So those two are going to know each other rather well when it comes to battling on track. And I know that they are 3 wide. This is going to be interesting. 3 wide on lap 6. Have we learned nothing from the caution we had on lap 1, boys?
Oh, Clinty! Oh, and Clinty is your defending winner of this race. He also won the race in the GIC. So that was the one we were talking about, JJ, where we debuted with the hybrid. And here goes Clinty. He sees an opportunity, but he also knows, JJ, he's got to go, and he's got to go now. He can't afford to stay back there. He needs to race to the front. Yeah, Pim Van Gastel gets around Amon Law. Amon Law started up front, and Amon is starting to fade a little bit as we get longer into this run. 13 laps out of 200, so we are about halfway through this run, Justin. And we're going to start seeing, as the fuel load burns off, these tires in these cars are going to behave a little differently.
Yeah, especially as the more they run, the harder it's going to be to hold a certain line. Van Gastel, you'll see, with this pass look. There it is right there with the aero wash. Law getting a little bit tighter. Might be a little bit more on the tighter side when it comes to weight jacker right now. It sets up a better run. And at this point, Lau, the best thing they can do is to let him go, because in past races, yeah, the outside could come into play a little bit with that second groove. But today, expecting drivers to quite simply have to be able to stick to that first groove if you want to be able to get the job done. You do not want to be up on that top side and risk contact with the wall at the short chutes.
Christensen around Law, and now also Mitchum around Altena. Mason Mitchum, former winner here in the Votive Indy Oval Series when they visited Indianapolis in their last season. This is all kind of piling up behind Law, as Law is kind of leading this group. And also we have lap traffic in there. There's Hatsuma, as we're going to go 3 wide, 4 wide, 3 wide at the start-finish line. Dahlgren sends it to the inside. He's not quite clear, not quite clear. He is clear, and he picks up a couple of positions as Law was kind of backing the field up a little bit, Justin, there, and it got tight at the start-finish line, and they went 3 wide.
Yeah, able to get a charge with the lap traffic. Dahlgren just continuing to pick them off one by one by one by one. As he continues to try and pluck them away. Contact and the crash!
Whoa! And that's with Saucier.
Everyone misses him, but it keeps going on afterwards. Saucier doesn't get collected, so that would be good for him for some respects. He will be able to limp that back to
Matt Wagner got in it too, guys.
Wagner's in it. Zambati's in it. Oh, and it's just how they came back up on the racetrack while they're going through the corner.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. That happens so quickly, and that's one thing that happens a lot in iRacing. You get super glued to the car next to you, and almost you're a passenger at that point.
We are right out of window, as you said, absolutely. Somebody saying, somebody needs to hit the brakes. That was a tough spot for reaction. Went right into the back of Wagner. Not a lot of time to react. And Clendy and Stock with that fuel difference. Gonna go as, here we go, everyone staggers.
Big send for Christensen in the inside. He thought better of it, going 3 wide on the restart. And that was most unfortunate for Jesper Dahlgren, the all-time winningest driver in Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship history. As we're going to go drag race down the backstretch, we're going to go 3 wide. Christensen's going to be the sandwich in the middle. Teammate on the outside. Mitchum on the other side. Oh, and alone wants to come through.
We've got to move on for second place as well. You saw O'Sullivan moving past Stock, the rookie, to take second place on a new set of Firestones. So he's going to be chasing after Mr. Kyle Clemworth, the defending Indianapolis champion.
Well, I think it's a bit of a different quality of driver. We have Stock that's still kind of learning these cars and learning his way through this series. And then we got Glindy, who's a former winner here in the GIC, former winner here last season here in Velocity Online Racing, won 2 top splits during fixed Indy 500 weekend as we watch F-Tink send it to the inside of Stock. And Glindy was only one of 2 drivers all last May. Of everybody that participated in the fixed Indy 500, he was one of 2 to complete all 800 laps of the 4 sessions that they held the fixed Indy 500 in, Justin. Back up front, Road F-Tink starting to reel in our leader. We are on caution one more time.
Oh, and this will change a lot. This is the caution, the 2 needed. Somebody crashed in the short chute. I can confirm that. Mariani can confirm, lost at 24th spot. He pushed into the side, into the short chute and hit the wall.
Lining up to turn into turns 1 and 2. Turn 1 and just getting the aero wash. Doesn't quite get down to, big push. Doesn't quite get down to that white line. And that car was not turning anymore, and he smacks the wall and ends the day, and we are under caution.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting strategy. I personally have not seen this strategy be played out before, and it's going to be really interesting to see if it actually works for him. I have strong hopes in Clemworth that he knows what he's doing in terms of staying out. We definitely know that this is not a mistake because Clemworth is one of the smartest drivers on this grid at the moment here this evening. So I think that is a potentially very good option for him to do because it gets him away from the hustle and bustle of the front of the field where you see everyone sort of tripping over each other. As we now see down the back straight, we have 2 lanes almost forming. It's almost like we're at Daytona, guys. We've got they fell back into formation now as we enter turn 3. But I have since you guys been talking there through the pit cycle, I have made some notes on who has pitted and not. So once the field settles down a little bit, we can go through that once again. But it's very interesting from Clemworth, who actually now loses the lead to Matthias Strauss.
Sorry, I was watching Strauss, and he just got a little awkward on a corner exit and the short chute there off of 1 and almost got up into the wall. And there you see he lost a 1/10 of a second. So he had a 1.3, now it's down to a 1.2. Just a little bit of a lift. You're not much of a replay here, but he got up there.
Ooh.
Yeah, did push up the racetrack, a little bit tight on the exit, but it's impressive to do that on your own. I'll just say that. As we see Engrave make a pass to the 19, heart of the field, Engrave. Also a solid season for the 77. Looking to try and pluck away some of the spots here, mind you, with the championship, with how things have looked so far. Engrave, a couple times a pole sitter this season, 6 of the points coming in, as here's those point standings. O'Sullivan, your leader, coming in by 9 over Otena.
Oh, car off the, it's one of you guys that you shouted out early off of turn 2. It's Bressie.
Oh, no. Nicholas Bressie. I was just going to point out something about the wind, Gary. We'll have a look at the replay here. This is coming into...
Whoa! Somebody, what happened? That was another car on the inside. What happened there?
That's the 85, guys, who was low on the track, seeing him slow on the back straightaway. He was the one, I think, who actually got loose, nearly hitting the short chute. Watch the turn, over corrects.
Vinci. Wow, that is a very, okay. I mean, I will let race control make a call there, JJ. That is a very questionable race rejoin.
The only drivers to stay out are Stock and Clemworth, and I think that they are on a very similar strategy. Between them, they have about 8 laps of offset, with Clemworth having the better tank of fuel as we now go back to green.
Oh, Vogelzang gets a big run on Clindy. Clindy trying to do a bit of a fade, and Vogelzang's going to go from 3rd to the battle to the lead of the short chute going into 2.
Well, what did I say? How quick are we going to get past those on the strategy? He made it near immediate, but it's going to be not done yet because the way the draft works. Back and forth now, likely with Stock, unless you have Clendy force it.
Klendy keeps it to the bottom, but Stock now to the point. Vogelzang in second. Klendy fades to third. And now watch this battle between two guys that started on the front row. It's Strauss and it's Liam O'Sullivan in fourth and fifth. They're battling down the front stretch. Now into the picture, we have Julian up to sixth, FT seventh, Lal in eighth. And now battle back up to the front, Milan to the point.
How well are you going to be able to take adventure runs? O'Sullivan with a huge one.
I think really drivers are getting a heck of a run coming down the main street and just activating that. I'll turn it over to you, JJ, but I think the drivers are getting a heck of a run, and they're just using that hybrid. And we're seeing places that normally we don't expect to see runs, getting runs, and I think it is because of the hybrid. Here we go, three wide again.
You're going to see Klendy go up the inside, take the place back off O'Sullivan. I completely agree with you there, Gary. We saw a little bit with the GIC race, drivers trying to figure out how to get the hybrid to be used properly, as the new version of this IndyCar came out on the day of the race, more or less. So these drivers have now had a lot of time to prepare, not only qualifying, but for the race, in the best place to dump all of that hybrid to get the better runs. And it seems now that we are seeing all sorts of different runs and a lot of different strategies of how to deploy that hybrid.
And Sullivan goes to the inside of Klendy. Klendy does a bit of a fade, and he goes to the point, and it got tight back there, Justin.
Little bit chaotic once again with the moves. This is what you expect to see early on in some of these runs here, and these drivers are not afraid to take advantage of swap draft, more swap draft in some of these circumstances.
Yeah, no, this was a very, very smart defense from Clemworth, because he obviously saw O'Sullivan going for the move. So he goes, okay, well, you clearly want to get a move on, so I'm going to get a move on as well. And by doing this, he actually takes the clean air. We'll see this from O'Sullivan's onboard. He'll take the clean air away from the number 12 car, and he actually almost loses a place, not only to Stock, but becomes under fire from Vogelzang as well, down into turn number 3. Look how much he had to check up there. You can see Stock actually coming back past him, and he's managed to keep the place in front of Vogelzang. But now look who's joined the party for this battle in the top 4. Julian Altena is on the back and rear wing of Vogelzang, as we actually see now O'Sullivan retake the move and go back past Stock into turn number 3.
Klendy's been passed as well, as we looked at Stock's car.
Vogelzang almost into the wall off of 4 as we are doing the dragon and the snake down the backstretch, and we're watching this pass for the lead as O'Sullivan goes to the inside of Klendy.
Because right about here at this distance, some drivers really struggled. Yeah, looks tight, lifting, just missed it.
Velocity Online Racing will also be covering the Indy Next Series basic. Oh, car to wall, Stock into the inside wall, coming off the corner. This is going into 2, and I don't know if we're going to go under caution, but he followed the car in front of him up into the wall, and it was like synchronized smacks, and there's the caution. And I think he was just kind of following Rice. So Rice passes him. He gets the dirty air. He doesn't quite get to the bottom at all. And I think he follows Rice up the racetrack, kind of hypnotized a little bit with dirty air and into the wall. And day done for one of the guys that was kind of on the different strategy. Pace car is off. Remember, when we go green flag here, immediately they can start spreading out and passing people. It doesn't matter if we're past the start-finish line or not. Penalties will be cleared, and watch him in the back spread out. Watch him in the mid-pack spread out. And the top 4 kind of separate themselves from Christensen, as side by side now, Vogelzang and Lal getting a big run on the high side. Vogelzang's going to fight back on the inside. Lal should be able to pull off this pass and have the benefit of his teammates in front of him to use the draft and pull him on by Vogelzang. Here comes Christensen, is looking for a way through. Vogelzang to the inside once more on Lal to get that spot back. Julian now to the lead, giving the dirty air to Vogelzang, all the while keeping clear of Liam O'Sullivan. Sullivan now goes back to second, and the guy that smacked the wall while reaching for a condiment is now your leader.
Watch out, boys. You don't want to hit each other. These are all, apart from Vogelzang, these guys are all teammates. So no doubt there's going to be some words exchanged in a voice call somewhere that we don't quite have access to. Boys, please be careful. We aren't even halfway yet. And it feels like we've already had so much action here this evening. Armand Lal struggling to get past Vogelsang.
I'm not sure that was Charpente smacking the inside wall coming to his stall on pit road.
Might get a replay. Actually, here we go. So we're going to come into the pits. We're going to slow it down on board with Charpentier. We're going to see those
60.
cones. That's where we have to be at the pit
60
limit.
miles per
And we're
hour.
absolutely fine.
Yep, on the button.
Everything
There's
looks
that pit road
pretty
speed
pedestrian.
limiter, so you
at the
just hit
moment.
that. You'll never go any faster than it, provided you hit the button, and it just...
And he misses it as well. This is going to be the last stop for the man that started on pole and is leading the race. And almost, as Justin, you said, it could be his race to lose. But something I've kept in mind is, although Clenworth needs to make another stop, it will be a shorter stop. So it will be all to play for. I think it will be potentially still O'Sullivan that leads the way, but it just depends by how much. This is going to be the gap for the sprint to the end of the race now.
Here he comes, and there goes O'Sullivan.
Oh, miles away.
Yeah, this is going to be a dominant advantage up on the front for O'Sullivan for the net lead here. Clendy.
Clendy. He was pedaling it off the exit road there, and he actually clipped the grass.
Yeah, that's a little bit wide on the exit. I think he got lucky here. Remember, can't cross that grass. If he would have gone any deeper, he might have got an unsafe entry, or exit rather. Can you get the charge? Look at this exit we're seeing right now. Coming up for
It's
Otena.
about the same thing.
Very,
But he comes
very
out in
close.
front of Clendy, but Clendy's going to have a head full of steam, and he's going to pull right up to the attenuator here by the time they get to turn one. I think Julian wants the dub. And we've had teammates. Treadway Racing, for example, in '97 won with Arie Luyendyk, a Dutchman, getting the win at the Brickyard, and another second-place finish for Scott Goodyear that season. That was a Treadway Racing. So we've had 1-2s.
3 wide.
We've had 2 wide, 3 wide. Oh, that is so tight. And each one of these cars is just out at the same pace. I think they're all trying the same fuel. They're all hitting the same number.
Here we go. Had to go for the dive. Had to set it on. Viola's the only car left on track. But at this point, O'Sullivan working to the inside. Otena trying to the outside groove. It hasn't worked much all day.
To the outside, just like Rick Mears and Michael Andretti in '91, and they're going to continue that through turn 2, down the backstretch. JJ, we got a drag race on our hands, and Julian to the point.
What a move from Julian Otena. That's twice in 2 races. He's put a class move on O'Sullivan, but he's going to have the inside. Into turn number 3 we go. Otena loses the place, back away from the lead, back into second place.
But there was a period between 2015 and 2018 that if you led with 10 to go, you weren't winning. Power lost in 2015 to Montoya. Newgarden lost in 2016 to Rossi. Chilton lost in 2017 to Sato. And Serbia lost in 2018 to Power. So again, just because you lead at 10 to go doesn't mean you're guaranteed a 500-mile race win. As we are 3 to go, we are inside 10 miles. A qualification run here at the Brickyard as we watch this battle between Liam O'Sullivan fighting to be a 2-time winner here and Julian Otena trying to get this long sought after first win after 15 starts here at the Brickyard. Looking to get the first sip of milk this time, coming to 2 to go at the line.
I think that strategy that O'Sullivan's doing of the constant weaving is, yes, it's a bit aggressive, and yes, it might end up going to the steward's room, but it's stopping the draft. It's stopping the run that Otena's getting, and the one that Clendy's getting for that matter as well. The more he's weaving, the less draft that he's giving off that Julian's able to suck up, and it's really, really playing into his favor here, Justin.
And right now, at this point, Otena might have to try one of the boldest moves possible here. Try and stick to the outside again. Tight, trying to stick to the outside. We're coming up to the white flag this time through. Otena is going to need a massive run for a shot for the lead.
He needs to do a Newgarden style pass right now. Liam O'Sullivan trying to defend like he's Eric Erickson from a couple of seasons ago. Clendy's there, white flag out. Leaders through 1 and 2 now on the south end of the racetrack. Going through the south end, now through 2. One more time down the back straightaway. Liam O'Sullivan looking for win number 2 at the Brickyard and another win this season to secure his point lead. Julian looking for win number 1. Clendy looking for win number 2. Coming into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. coming to the stretch run and a turn from home. High run for Liam O'Sullivan off the corner. Julian is going to be there. We're going to have a drag race off the corner. Coming off of corner number 4. Julian's there. He goes to the inside. He's going to have a run to the inside, and I don't know if he's going to get there. I think it's going to be Liam clips him by 33 thousandths of a second. 32 with the reach correct.
My goodness, Altena set that up perfectly on a platter. I'm surprised O'Sullivan pushed up the way he did in 3. That set up the chance for Altena to get the run. Altena didn't even bother with the snake down the back knowing what was going to happen. But it took a smart play up at the front for Altena to have a chance. But O'Sullivan dominated this race to get this win.
I really thought there was going to be contact there coming off of turn 4. I don't know about you guys, but that was way too close for comfort. But what an incredible job by all of them there. I mean, the strategy of defense was maybe a little bit aggressive from O'Sullivan, but at the end of the day, whatever gets the job done when it's the most important race of the year. Yeah, look how close that was. Almost taking the gearbox off of the number 12.
As a little bit of a love taps there on the front straight, and Liam O'Sullivan now becomes a 3rd multi-time winner here at the Brickyard in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship with the win here today. Joining the win he took in Season 12. He is now a 2-time winner. He joins Jesper Dahlgren as also a 2-time winner, and of course Alex Van de Sande, who won 4 consecutive races between Season 3 and Season 6. He's the all-time winner. And those are your only multi-time winners here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship here at Indianapolis. Here are your unofficial results. Again, let me keyword on that. Unofficial results. Everything is subject to review. Liam O'Sullivan with the win. Julian Altena, another podium finish. And he's going to have to wait another season to try to get that first win. It will extend to now season 16 for Julian Clindy. So close from coming home and defending his win from a season ago. Comes home in 3rd, Amon Law in 4th. Hunter Ingrave very quietly gets the 5th. A good run for Hunter. I'm going to say Hunter, he might be a candidate for the Luis Gonzalez Nunez driver of the race, but I think that's going to fall to another driver. We'll talk that out here in just a second. John Christensen, 44 Nation. Another good day for Altena Auto Sports. All 4 cars in the top 6. But I think this is your driver of the race. Jesper Dahlgren up 18 spots to come home in 7th. And at one point was down a lap and under repair on pit road. And he comes home in 7th. The 2-time champion in the series and the 2-time champion here at the Brickyard is a top 10 finisher here today. Matthias Strauss, a great race for him in 8th. Mason Mitchum, a good race, but a quiet race for him for our winner in Kansas in 9th. And Pim Van Gastel, another top 10 for Pim. He comes home in 10th. Running out the remainder of this field as we got Vinci. Vinci with a difficult race, but comes home in 11th. F. Tink, not the finish he was necessarily looking for, but he does come home with the top 15 and 12th. Fiolis in 13th. Seb Kender, 14th. Dan Inch, our sponsor of today's race, in 15th. Gary Lovern, 16th. Hugo Gala is a very quiet race for Hugo in 17th. Chris Rides, 18th. Charpentier, 19th. And Vogelzang, unfortunately, had to have an early DNF. I believe he finished 9 laps down. So he did get back out on the racetrack, but had a meatball flag. But was among the leaders for much of this race for Milan, and he comes home in 20th. Moving on to the next page, we got Hatsuma, Watson, Stock, Cressy, Miriani, Zambati, Wags, Saucier, Henrique, Clegg. These are all drivers that had instances that brought out I believe we had 5 cautions. Hatsuma actually finished the race, but starting from Watson on back, everyone kind of had some issues. That is your top 30. And the final page, Dufresne and Katie Pollock, again, with the early incident in turn 1 on lap 1, round out the remainder of this 32-car field.